In this video, we look at some of the most common issues we get with mixes sent in for mastering. Issues that mean I have to send you an email and ask you to rectify it, or try and fix something myself that would be much better fixed in the mix. And these are common issues across the board, so it's worth watching this video even if you're mastering your own music or if you're running it through LANDR or a similar online mastering service. The first transient is missing and/or the reverb tail at the end is cut short. There are many different ways to bounce out or print a mix, but let's look at one way to bounce out a mix in Logic Pro. You can click bounce and Logic will automatically bounce the song from the beginning of the first audio file to the end of the last, or it will use the project length itself. And you don't want that, you want to tell it where the song starts and ends. So you can activate the cycle and then it will bounce between the start and end points of that. Much better. But if you've got reverb or delay as a plugin on an aux end or directly on the channel, that's going to go on for longer than the last piece of audio. So when you activate the cycle and bounce out your mix, you want to do two things. The first thing is to make sure you've got a gap at the beginning of the project, that it doesn't all kick off on beat one of bar one, so that you can leave a second or so of nothing at the beginning. And if you've got some audio there from a recording made with a microphone and it's a bit noisy, you want to leave that there, because then the mastering engineer can dive in with RX, capture a noise profile and denoise the track if necessary. But let us know if you want it left there or you want it gone. Then at the end of the song, you want to listen really carefully to the last tails and delays, wait for them to finish, and then add a couple of seconds onto the end from there just to be safe. If there's anything odd going on with one of the channels that you don't want, drumsticks being put down, the singer going or something like that, then that needs to be chopped out and any abrupt edits faded on a channel by channel basis in the mix. Then you can bounce out or print the project with some room at either end that can be topped and tailed in mastering. No initial transients missing and reverb and delay tails intact. Many times I've been in the studio mixing a track with the artist sat next to me and they want the vocal down and then down a tiny bit more and then can you just bring it down a tiny bit more? And this is often a combination of lack of confidence, insecurity, maybe not liking the sound of their own voice and imposter syndrome. And that's all fine and perfectly understandable, but that shouldn't be guiding mix decisions. If your vocal is too quiet in the mix because you don't want to hear it, then it's actually going to sound worse to your audience than if it was just loud and proud. And whilst I can adjust the level of a vocal to some extent using EQ, multiband compression and tools like Isotope's Master Rebalance, this is better done at the mix stage. If you think this is you, then you can always send the vocal and the rest of the music as two separate stems, complete with all your effects in place, and don't forget to check the reverb tails, and then we can better tweak the balance between them. You've got phase issues. We've actually got an entire video coming out on this very subject, as phase is a complicated one, so make sure you've subscribed and ding the ding dong to be notified of that. But the two most common things I hear in mixes that don't really work with regard to phase are overuse of stereo width enhancement plugins and channels that have been duplicated, panned hard left and hard right, and then one of them dragged in time out from the other by a few milliseconds to make it sound more like two independent parts. This generally just gives you phase issues, so don't do that. If you want two guitar parts, one panned left and one right, record two guitar parts or use two different mics on the amp or the guitar and check the phase alignment of those mics. The easy way to check is to listen to your mix in mono. Mono? What's that? The easy way to check is to listen to your mix in mono and ideally on one speaker. If your mix falls to pieces or guitar or synth parts suddenly disappear or sound really quiet or a bit hollow, then you've got phase issues. So you need to go back, find them and address them in the mix, because this can't be fixed in mastering. Don't send an MP3. And don't go the other way and upsample a track that you recorded at 44.1 kHz to 96. Bounce your mix out at whatever sample and bitrate you recorded and mixed it at, preferably as a WAV file. Simple. Don't send an MP3. I get a handful of tracks sent through that are just way too loud and overcompressed and sound crap when you turn them down. And if your music's going to streaming services, then I have to turn it down, or they will, and then it might sound even worse. If you want side-chained pumping compression as an artistic effect, then that's fine, but if there's a poorly set up limiter after that and everything is slammed to -5 LUFS, then I really can't do anything with it. Ideally, it's best to leave at least 3 dB of headroom, although 6 to 9 is even better. And I'm icing a cake, and if I'm sent an overcooked cake that's already been badly iced, then it's gone. It's too late. Take it out of the oven a bit earlier and don't ice it. If in doubt, you can always send 2 versions, one with your mix bus processing on and one with it off. But if turning it off means that your stereo output is going into the red, which it often does, then you're clipping the plugins on your output and your gain staging is all wrong, and you can't just turn the master fader down. In this case, select all your channels and bring them all down in level so you're not clipping the unprocessed output. And if you've been top-down mixing and mixing into bus processing on your master bus and now it sounds like crap with it gone, then watch the video coming up on your screen now. Follow the link below to get your free Testmaster and some honest and hopefully helpful feedback if you're not sure your mixes are ready yet. Don't be shy, give it a try. It's all about helping you make better music and helping us make better videos. It shows us what you're doing and we're getting some fantastic music through, Peter, and some okay music and some atrocious music, and we want to get the bad stuff into the middle and then up to the top. That's what it's all about. So thanks for watching. We're trying to keep the content coming every day, so you'll see us tomorrow.